With so many people in Hollywood failing upward over and over again, it's amazing, a shocker to find out that you can actually lose your job for consistent failure. In this article from Screen Rant a few days ago, Disney fires Pixar's Lightyear director and producer known for saving Toy Story 2. Now, apparently, a bunch of Toy Story 2 files were deleted, and Galen Sussman, best known for saving Toy Story 2 from destruction, she was able to save those files. But it doesn't help you when you have a massive, massive stinker on your hands that Lightyear was. A box office failure, followed by the box office failure that was, I believe, Strange Worlds. Let's see what this has to say. After Lightyear proved to be a massive flop for Pixar, which is not exactly something they're used to. Pixar has been known for making pretty much gold over and over again, but I don't know. Something happened along the way. Maybe someone who was in charge lost it, got fired, got let go. The new regime at Pixar has been putting out one disaster after another, and Lightyear apparently was the final nail in that pink slip. Disney is officially firing much of the Pixar's office. There's going to be so many more terminations at Disney with one flop after another because, I'm sorry, Disney Little Mermaid's not going to succeed. Sorry. Lightyear followed the adventures of the eponymous cosmic adventurer, serving as the movie within the Pixar universe that inspired Tim Allen's iconic toy. Except nobody was interested because it wasn't about the toy itself. People enjoyed Toy Story. They liked the Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story. They liked Tim Allen in Toy Story. This little spin-off had nothing to do with the toy itself, so less and less people were interested. And apparently a bunch of bigots didn't want to see it either because there was a lesbian relationship in it. Oh no! Or it was just garbage. On a budget of $200 million, which is ridiculous because you just had a CGI movie with a budget of $100 million that, whatever. Huh. What is Disney and Pixar spending all this money on? Across the Spider-Verse had a budget of $100 million. Super Mario had about a $100 million budget. Little Mermaid had $250 million budget. Lightyear has $200 million. Like, where's all this money going? I digress. Lightyear brought in just over $225 million at the box office. Yeah, that is a massive flop. Proving to be a serious flop for Disney and now resulting in major changes at the animated studios, which is just shocking because, again, most people in Hollywood fail upward. Consequences are happening. Nearly a year after it first hit theaters, Reuters has brought word that Disney has fired Lightyear director Angus MacLane, along with Pixar's Vice President of Worldwide Publicity, Michael, I'm not going to try it, Agulnik. Yes, I am going to try it. The House of Mouse has also fired producer Galen Sussman, who famously saved Toy Story 2 from destruction when the entire film was mistakenly deleted, along with reported 70-plus other executives. Heads are a-rolling at Pixar. MacLane is the most shocking firing, as the director has enjoyed a 26-year tenure at Pixar, had worked his way from animator to blockbuster director. Okay, so what happened? Well, again, when you have one colossal failure after another, someone has to pay the price. Your studio's not making money. It's losing money. Why did Disney cut Pixar's employees? Because they're not making money. Because the shows that they're putting out, the movies, are failing. Lightyear wasn't the start of Disney's problems. After his initial retirement, Bob Iger has frequently discussed Disney's financial issues that arose from we're going to throw people under the bus. That arose from Bob Chapek's brief tenure. No, it started with Bob Iger. Bob Chapek. I cannot even pronounce his name. Bob Chapek was just a scapegoat to be thrown under the bus and fed as a sacrificial lamb. Brief tenure as CEO, resulting in the former Bob retaking the position from his successor, one whom he reportedly didn't want in the first place. Okay. With Disney Plus not serving as the financial boon that Disney hoped it would be, because nobody's interested in your trash anymore. The ideological nonsense, the insulting fans, calling them istophobes over and over again when they criticize your work, People are getting tired of it, so you're going to start losing money. People are going to stop going to the parks. They're going to stop watching your shows. They're going to stop going to your movies. We have more than one example of that happening every single movie release. Both Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm to produce content for the streaming? Yeah, that's the problem. Reportedly pushing both Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm to produce content for the streamer instead of the big screen. Stop focusing on the streaming services. They are a failing market. The streaming bubble has burst. Nobody's at home anymore. Nobody wants to sit down and watch it. And there are far too many streaming services out there for people to keep up. It is no longer cheaper to cut the cord, to cut the cable, to get away from mainstream cable and pick up a streaming service. It's not that simple. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 different ones if you want to watch the things that you really enjoy. So people just said, screw it. They're just going to use their friends, watch something else, or find something free on YouTube to be entertained by. Disney repeating crucial mistakes. It didn't learn from Lightyear. Disney hasn't learned a single thing. No matter how much money they lose, they're not learning anything. They keep pushing ideological nonsense. I mean, hell, Lucasfilm is bringing back Ray Palpatine. So no, they haven't learned a single thing. They cannot admit when they're wrong. Article continues. With the future of streaming in serious danger, Disney turned to its theatrical side in the hopes of producing greater revenue. Unfortunately, the twin flops of Strange World, and Lightyear only escalated Disney's struggles because they're not putting out stories, they're putting out messages. The issue is hardly because of any loss in audience interest. Fellow animated feature Super Mario Brothers movie stunned Disney by bringing in over $1 billion. I believe it's at 1.6 in revenue total. At $1 billion at the box office, $1.2 billion at the box office in less than a month. Oof! And besting Frozen. Strange World's failure has been blamed on poor marketing and its status as a new IP. Oh, really? Did you know that Up was a totally different IP? It's not even its own. It's a standalone movie, and that movie's wonderful. Big Hero 6, fantastic. Wreck-It Ralph, fantastic. I own all these movies. I love them from beginning to end. I'm pretty sure they made money. Strange Worlds, no. Maybe on poor marketing, but it has nothing to do with being a new IP. It was put out by Pixar. If Pixar had been putting out bangers over and over again, it would have made money. But the nonsense coming from Disney, there's some parents out there that have opinions. Whether you like them or not, they have opinions, and they're turning away from Disney. They're going over to DreamWorks. They're going over to Illumination, as can be seen by the $1.2 billion that Super Mario movies made. Let's see. Whereas Lightyear was a Pixar-led project with an established IP. So these two statements cannot exist at the same time. You can say Strange World's failure is because it's a new IP, but Lightyear failed as well, and it was already an established IP. So how does that make sense? People they don't care about the intellectual property. They care about who's making the film. Something came out by DreamWorks. Let's say a new movie came out by DreamWorks. People would go see it because of their track record. When you start failing over and over again, one movie after another, people are going to stop going see it, and they're going to wait for other people to review it, other people to watch it, talk about it, and get their opinion there. And if it does well, then they'll go see it on the following weekend or the next day and whatnot. Then you can make money. But in order to do that, you have to make good stories, less preaching, better stories, better characters. With these failures in Disney's cost-cutting efforts, because, Disney's still going to make money because they're cutting costs. They're firing people. They're laying off huge sections of Pixar and Disney, and probably Lucasfilm will be next. And that's how the big corpos are going to make their money. They're not going to lose. The little man, the people down the line, they're going to get laid off. I digress. It may not come as a surprise that such firings as that of Lightyear's Angus MacLane and Galen Sussman are happening, yes, because they made box office failures. As Toy Story 5 embarks on its development, oh Lord, they're making that? No, stop it. Stop it now. Come up with something new that's well written. You tried something with Strange Worlds failures. Figure out why that was a failure. Figure out what people were talking about. What were the complaints about it? And adjust accordingly. Again, whether you will like it or not, it's there. The reasons are there. Stop being preachy. Stop having an agenda. Stop checking the box. Stop doing all that stuff. Get back to basics. Super Mario Brothers movie was a basic as fuck movie. Basic story. It made $1.2 billion. Tom Cruise's Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. Basic story. It made money. Massive amounts of money. And what do we have at the theater right now? Destroying The Little Mermaid. Miles Morales, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is making money. I'll be looking forward to see what the second week box office is on that one. I don't think it's going to be as big of a drop as Little Mermaid, but we shall see. But it's making money. There's no ideology in the story. It is just, here's the story. It's not preachy. There's no check boxes because, hey, the main character. Anyway, you can see it. There's nothing added. Everything is pulled directly from the comic book, and there's no additions, subtractions for check boxes or this, that, or the other, with the exception of Spider-Woman. But the dumb thing about her is she's pregnant on a motorcycle, but that already talked about that. Make good stories. That's all people want. Good stories. Less preachy. Less lectures, more story. Oh, Toy Story 5 embarks on its development. How, with the writer's strike, the company needs to ensure that it can get Pixar back on track, as well as its separate animation studio, before its financial woes worsen and brings down the industry's biggest names. It's almost like an avalanche taking place right before our eyes, where one failure leads to another, leads to another. One person turns away, which leads to two, which leads to four. It becomes exponential as people walk away and find other forms of entertainment, other studios they can rely and depend on. The same thing happens in the gaming industry. You have gaming companies like BioWare and Blizzard, who were the absolute darlings, as well as CD Projekt Red. They could do no wrong. And then a game came out that was full of bugs. It was trash. People didn't like it. The next game came out, much more of the same. So those studios had a reputation of putting up crap. People stopped buying them as much as they used to. And I've hit my microphone twice. The same thing is happening in movies, in theater, with these production companies. They put out one stinker after another, and people will start to turn away. They will hold on to their wallets until the second week. Keep them nice and closed until legitimate audience reviews come out, not like the bought and paid for shills getting Access Media websites that just automatically want to give anything Disney does a 95% or an 80% or whatever. They're going to wait for regular people to start reviewing it. And it's going to be an avalanche over and over again until they find better entertainment, or until the studios get their head out of their collective asses and start, listening to the paying customer, the regular people, the silent majority. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is this spelled doom for Pixar and Disney? Can they recover? Ultimately, anybody can recover, but it might need new people at the top. So let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I do appreciate you making it this far. Good night.